All right, welcome to Greggles TV. Some new things got updated with the Galaxy Z Fold 7 in terms of what we know, or at least we think we know, with the sizes and some of the specs about the phone. And I think it's going to be a big change. One of the big things that we heard recently from Mr. Ross Young, who has got a great track record with displays and all that kind of thing, is that the Galaxy Z Fold 7 will basically be almost a carbon copy physically of the Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition, which has a much bigger display on the outside and inside. And that's really gonna, I think, affect what we see with the Galaxy Z Fold 7. So I'm gonna go back to this. Snapdragon 8 Elite, there was rumors Exynos 2500. I personally don't think that's going to happen. It still could, and there's a rumor about it. I just don't think it's going to end up happening. It would be a complete about face for Samsung to get away from their premier phones having a Snapdragon processor inside. So I think they're going to stick with it. 16 gigs of RAM, I think that's a pretty much given, especially with how much they've been pushing AI and how other companies are by default with AI, like especially if they're pushing AI, having 16 gigs of RAM in it. So I think, again, I think it's a pretty much given that it'll have 16 gigs of RAM by default. Storage, I think we will have 256, 512, and 1 terabyte of storage. I think that's because of the inflated prices that we're gonna see because of this phone. I think ultimately when we get this phone, we're gonna be a little sticker shocked, and I'll explain why towards the end of this video, why I think we're gonna get increased prices. Displays, 8-inch, 6.5-inch. So 8-inch on the main display, which this is like, from what I've heard, because I haven't used it, but what people are saying is with the 8-inch display on here, watching videos, you have a lot less black bars on the main display, and it fits really, really well with watching widescreen content. Not perfectly, but a lot better, and I think that's gonna be a huge win in a lot of people's eyes. And then 6.5-inch on the outside display, so it's gonna be like literally a normal size phone on the outside. It's not gonna be too tall or too skinny. It's gonna be just right. And when you add those two things together, 6.5-inch on the outside, being able to type better is a big thing, and being able to see things better, like larger and more normal than you could previously. It's also gonna potentially hurt the one-handed use, but I don't think it'll hurt it that much because it's, again, a smaller type, normal size phone on the outside, but the inside, it is gonna be big. It is gonna be awesome at the same time. And you put a grip on there. There's a few phone grips, there's pop sockets, there's a few others as well that work just really great with this stuff, and it makes using the phone a lot easier. So look into phone grips. Now, we could get square off edges, we could get rounded edges. I think we're gonna end up probably getting the edges, obviously, that look like the Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition, which to me is a little bit more rounded rather than just squared off. So I think that's what we'll end up seeing, is kind of rounded edges. Brightness, I think we'll end up going to 3000 nits. I think now that they're gonna use this much bigger display and that the price is going to be increased, that I think they're gonna throw in, let's do it. We're gonna, let's make the display brighter, They're not gonna keep it, I don't think, at 2600. Battery, I think, will also get larger. I don't think they'll go to 5000 milliamps, but I do think they'll jump up to 4800 milliamps because of the phone being increased in size, and they can put a bigger battery in. And I still think they'll be able to keep it nice and weighted out, meaning it's not gonna feel too top heavy or just heavy in general. I think they'll be able to even all that stuff out because everything's gonna be slimmed down in general. Slimmer, lighter, obviously I just kind of said that. This will be probably the slimmest, definitely, and lightest regular Galaxy Z Fold phone ever. Now, it might just equate out to what a special edition weighs, but I think it will definitely be the thinnest and lightest Galaxy Z Fold 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 that we've ever seen. 45-watt charging, I think, will finally come to this phone. We've been stuck at 25 watts, but I think they'll push it up to 45 watts because I think they're finally saying, like, all right, this is our premium phone along with the Ultra phone. You're gonna get basically everything Ultra about this, including our fast charging. And I also think it'll go to 25-watt wireless because of Qi 2 has that ability to go to 25-watt wireless. Cameras are gonna have one of the bigger impacts on this phone because the special edition had, and I assume they're gonna probably put the same cameras or very similar cameras in here. They'll put the main 200 megapixel camera, 50 megapixel ultra wide, 50 megapixel telephoto, and 12 megapixel selfie, and 5 megapixel main selfie. So I think the cameras are gonna get a big overhaul for the folding line in general, and that is going to make tons and tons of you guys happy. We've been living on cameras that are the same as their, you know, and I wouldn't say bad, they're not their lower tier phones, but they're phones that are basically upper mid tier, such as the Plus line and the regular, you know, 24. But this time I think it's going to end up being with the same as the Ultra, which is going to be amazing to get this. The S Pen support, it's not in the special edition. I wouldn't be surprised if we still get it with the regular Galaxy Z Fold 7. So I'm just going to put maybe, maybe not as my answer, because things could change. They might remove it just because it reduces cost. They don't think people are using it. They think it's not needed, whatever the reason. I would think that it might be there, it might not be. If you had to put, put my back against the wall, I'd probably say it will be there though. AI continuing to add new features. We've mentioned this a million times. Removing people from videos, things like that. I think that'll even launch earlier than what we're seeing. The 7 years of security and firmware updates, definitely on here. July launch/release. It might even fall into August, early August. And then price, I think what we're gonna end up seeing is it's gonna start off at $19.99. And the reason being, it's a bigger display. There's gonna be a bigger battery, my guess, more brightness, the faster processor, newer, faster processor in there, more RAM. The cameras are getting improved. S Pen support if they add it. There's a lot that they're doing, either continuing to do or adding in there or improving, and that's gonna cost a pretty penny. I think it'll, like I said, I think it'll start off at $19.99. I think it'll probably go up to like $22 or $23.99 for the 1 terabyte version, and then like $21.49 for like the 512 or $20.99, something like that. And I think obviously it's because of the reasons of the phone, but I think the bigger reason why they're pushing the price up is to make it not seem like sticker shock when their tri-folding phone comes out and when their other phones come out as well, such as like their, like any phone that they have that's premium, that's going to be more expensive than this. I think they're trying to do that so that it all makes sense and we're not like, oh my God, I can't afford that. I think that's the major reason why. They're not going to say that, but I'm thinking that's why. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Do you think this is a winner or a loser? Is there things they could still improve on? If you asked me, they could still improve on the charging. They could still improve on potentially the battery size. But beyond those two things, when I look at this, I'm pretty damn happy with what I think this phone's gonna ultimately turn out now that we have the latest information from Ross Young about the Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition being the new Z Fold 7. Like, if this ends up being the truth, this is gonna be one heck of an amazing, fun device. Let me know your thoughts. Have a great day. We'll see you down the road. Peace.